Let me walk you through something that happened to a guy I know. He's a teacher. Not rich, but careful with money. Saves before he spends. Never carries debt. 1 month, his washing machine dies. He puts $1,800 on his credit card, goes home, transfers the money from his savings account, and pays the bill the same week it drops. Full balance, 0 interest, not even a late fee. 3 days later, he opens his Credit Karma app, and his score is down 31 points. He called me panicking. Did someone steal my identity? Did I do something wrong? He did nothing wrong. But the system still penalized him like he did. And the crazy part? This happens to thousands of responsible people every single month. People who pay on time, every time. People who have the money sitting right there in their account. They follow the rules. And the algorithm still drags their score down. Why? Not because of anything they did, but because of a date they didn't know existed. Today, I'm going to break that down. Completely. The date the banks don't advertise, the number that controls 1/3 of your entire credit score, and the exact move that can shift your score by 30, 40, even 50 points without changing a single spending habit. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll never look at a credit card statement the same way. Here's what most people think happens when they use a credit card. They spend money, the bill comes, they pay, the bureaus see that they paid. Score stays good. Simple, right? Wrong. What actually happens is completely different. And the gap between what people think and what actually happens is exactly where those point drops are hiding. Let me show you how a credit card cycle actually works. Say your billing cycle opens on the 1st of the month. You start swiping. Groceries, gas, a dinner out. Maybe you bought that washing machine. Your balance climbs throughout the month. Then the 30th hits. The cycle closes. The moment that cycle closes, your bank generates a statement, that PDF that lands in your inbox. And on that statement is a number, your current balance. Let's say it's $1,800. Here's the thing almost nobody tells you. That number, that $1,800, gets sent directly to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Right then. That same day or within a couple of days. And that number is now locked into your credit report for that month. Now, your actual due date? That's usually 21 to 25 days later. So you still have 3 full weeks to pay. Which you do. On time. In full. But the bureaus already got their snapshot. They already recorded that you had $1,800 on a $2,500 card. That's 72% utilization. And that number is sitting on your report right now, dragging your score down, even though your bank account shows the bill is completely paid. You paid the bill. But the record says you owe nearly 3/4 of your credit limit. That's the disconnect. The credit scoring system isn't watching a live stream of your account. It takes 1 photograph per month. And that photograph is taken the second your billing cycle closes, before you've had a chance to clean anything up. This is why your score can drop even when you're doing everything right. You're living in real time. Your credit report is living on a monthly delay. Most people never figure this out. They just keep paying on time, keep watching their score bounce around, and assume the system is random. It's not random. It's just reporting the wrong moment. Before we get into how to fix it, you need to understand just how much this one thing is affecting your score. Pull up the FICO scoring breakdown in your head, or Google it real quick. Payment history is the biggest piece at 35%. Makes sense. Did you pay your bills or not? But right behind it, sitting at a massive 30%, is something called amounts owed. And the biggest driver of that 30%? Credit utilization. Your balance relative to your limit. Think about what that means. Nearly 1/3 of your entire credit score is being calculated based on how much of your available credit you're using at this exact moment, not over the last year, not on average. Right now, that 30% slice carries more weight than how long you've had credit. More than whether you have a mortgage or a car loan or a student loan. more than how many accounts you have. 1/3. Controlled by a single ratio. And that ratio is just math. Your balance divided by your limit. Got a $5,000 limit and $2,500 on it. That's 50% utilization. Got a $1,000 limit and $950 on it? That's 95%. And your score will feel it. Now here's where it gets really important. The scoring models don't treat utilization as one smooth scale. There are cliffs. Cross 30% and lenders start seeing you as a risk. Cross 50% and you're in what I call the warning zone. The algorithm starts treating you like someone who's struggling financially. Push it past 75% or close to maxed out. Your score can drop 40 to 60 points in a single reporting cycle. I've watched people with 800 credit scores fall into the low 700s because they booked a family vacation on a card with a $2,000 limit. No missed payment, no new debt, just one high balance statement, and suddenly they look like a credit risk. And the worst part? They don't know why it happened. They see the drop, they panic, they think it's fraud or a bank error. They call customer service. Nobody tells them about the utilization cliff. And they spend the next 6 months wondering why their score is so stubborn. Now here's the part that should make you feel better. Unlike a missed payment, which can haunt your report for up to 7 years, utilization has no memory. The scoring models used by most lenders today, FICO 8 being the big one, completely reset every single time a new balance is reported. Run up 90% utilization in January? Pay it down to 4% in February? Your score bounces back like January never happened. That's why this is the fastest lever you can pull on your credit score. Nothing else moves this quickly. Not disputing old accounts, not waiting for inquiries to age off. Nothing. You control the snapshot. You control the score. So now you know the problem. The score is based on the balance at statement close, not the balance after you pay. The fix is simple. Pay before the statement closes, not before the due date. Before the statement closing date. Those are two completely different days on the calendar. And the difference between them is the difference between a 680 and a 740. Here's exactly how to do this. Step 1. Find your closing date. Log into your credit card account, not the app home screen where they scream your due date at you. Go to the statement section. Open an old PDF bill. Look for the words billing period ends or statement closing date. That's your target date. Write it down for every card you own. Step 2. Set a reminder 2 to 3 days before. Not the day of. 2 to 3 days before, because bank transfers can take 24 to 48 hours to post. If you initiate the payment the day before the close and it doesn't post in time, you've lost that month. Give yourself the buffer. Step 3. Log in on reminder day and do the math. Check your current balance. Decide what balance you want reported to the bureaus, then pay the difference manually. You want to report low? Pay down to $20 or $30. Pay down to 1% of your limit if you really want to dial it in. You don't need to go all the way to 0. More on that in a second. Step 4. Let the statement close. After you've made the payment and it's cleared, let the closing date come and go. Your bank will generate a statement showing that low balance. That's the number that goes to the bureaus. That's the snapshot. Step 5. Pay the remaining small balance by the actual due date. That left over $20 or $30? Pay it before the due date. You owe 0 interest because you haven't let it roll over a cycle. You essentially split one payment into 2 smaller ones with a few weeks between them. And in exchange, you've completely controlled what your credit report says about you. That's it. That's the whole move. It doesn't require a new card, doesn't require closing anything, doesn't require talking to anyone at the bank. Just timing. Now, a lot of people who hear this immediately think, okay, I'll just pay it all the way down to 0 before the statement closes. Clean slate, perfect score. Makes sense on the surface, but consistently reporting $0 owed across every single card can actually hurt you. Not by a lot, but you're leaving points on the table. Here's why. The FICO algorithm is designed to score how you manage debt. If your report shows zero balance on every card, month after month, the model doesn't have anything to evaluate. You look like someone who either isn't using credit at all or is hiding something. The algorithm wants to see that you use credit responsibly, not that you avoid it entirely. Data from my FICO consistently shows that people sitting in the 800 to 850 range are not reporting zero utilization. They're reporting somewhere around 4% to 7%. They've got a small, manageable balance showing on their report. It signals activity without signaling stress. The strategy for this is called All Zero Except One, or AZEO for short. If you have multiple credit cards, you pay all of them down to zero before their statement dates. All except one. On that one card, you let a small balance report, something like $10 to $20, or roughly 1% of the limit. Why? Because that tiny balance tells the algorithm two things at once. Yes, I use credit. And no, I don't need to lean on it. That combination is what pushes the amounts owed category to its highest possible score. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I leave a balance, I'm going to get charged interest. No, you won't, as long as you pay that balance before the due date, which is 21 to 25 days after the statement closes. You pay zero interest. What gets reported and what you actually owe the bank are two separate things. You can report a $15 balance to the bureaus and still pay nothing in interest, as long as you pay that $15 before the due date. You're threading the needle between the reporting window and the payment window. Once you understand those two windows exist, you can work them both. Let me be straight with you. This level of hands-on management is not something most people need to do every single month. It's high maintenance. You're tracking specific dates, initiating manual payments, checking statements. For most months of the year, if you're generally keeping your utilization below 10% to 15%, your score is going to be in solid shape without the extra work. But there are two situations where you want to go into full optimization mode. The first is when you know you're about to apply for something big: a mortgage, a car loan, a business line of credit. Anytime a lender is about to pull your credit, you want your score at its absolute peak. Start this. Process 60 days out. Give yourself 2 full reporting cycles of clean, low utilization data before that pull happens. The second is when your score has taken a hit and you're trying to recover fast. Maybe you had a big month of spending. Maybe you had an emergency. Whatever the reason, if your score dropped because of utilization, this is the fastest way to bring it back. One good reporting cycle can close most of the gap. Outside of those two situations, just stay under 10% overall and let AutoPay handle the due dates. That's enough to maintain a strong score without turning credit management into a part-time job. 2 things I want to make sure you know before you go run this. First, do not cycle your credit. Paying down your balance early to lower utilization before the statement date is smart. Good. Do it. But there's a version of this that banks flag as suspicious behavior. If you have a $2,000 limit, spend $2,000, pay it off mid-month, spend another $2,000, pay it off again, and do that 2 or 3 times in the same month, you've technically used $6,000 on a $2,000 card. Banks call this credit cycling, and their fraud and risk systems do not like it. To them, it looks like money laundering patterns. It looks like bust-out fraud, where someone runs up as much credit as they can with no intention of paying. Even if you're doing it for completely innocent reasons, the pattern can trigger an account review, a freeze, or even a closure. The simple fix: keep your total spending within your credit limit for the month, even if you're paying it down early. And if you keep bumping against your limit naturally, don't try to hack around it. Call the issuer and request a credit limit increase. More available credit means lower utilization with the same spending. That's the cleaner long-term solution. Second, keep your old cards open. I know it feels tidy to close cards you're not using, but every card you close takes its credit limit with it. Your total available credit shrinks. Your utilization percentage spikes. You could close a card with a $10,000 limit and a zero balance and watch your score drop 20 points overnight without spending a single dollar. Old cards with no fees? Keep them open. Put a small recurring charge on them, like a streaming subscription. Set it to autopay. They sit there doing nothing except padding your available credit and keeping your utilization low. They're doing work for you even when you're not thinking about them. Here's the summary. Your credit score gets its photograph taken on the statement closing date, not the due date, not when you pay. The closing date, that one number, your balance at close, is driving 1/3 of your score. To control it, find your closing date, pay down your balance 2 to 3 days before it hits, let a small balance report rather than zero, then pay that small amount before the actual due date. No interest? Controlled utilization? Better score. Most people will never do this because they don't know it exists. You know now. That's the advantage. Go find your closing date this week. Pick one card, try it for one cycle. Then open your credit monitoring app and watch what happens. When you see the jump, drop it in the comments. How many points did you move? Tell me what card, what limit, what you reported. That data helps every other person watching this video. If this was useful, subscribe. This channel is built around the mechanics of money, the things the banks know that they never put in the brochure. I'll see you in the next one.